Mantra is one of powerful tools of yoga. This can be used to heal the chakras. Mantra is a kind of yoga, called mantra yoga. Scripture defines mantra as mannatrayate iti mantra, means by the constant thinking of mantra, one is protected and released from the round of births and deaths. The first part, man, in the word mantra means, to think, and, tra, means, to protect, to free, from the bondage of the phenomenal world. A mantra generates the creative and protective force. A mantra when constantly repeated awakens the consciousness. A mantra is mystical energy encased in the sound structure. Every mantra contains within its vibrations a certain power. Upon concentration and repetition of a given mantra, its energy is elicited and takes from japa, or mantras yoga, is that practice by which the power contained within mantras is applied for specific purpose. Each mantra is constructed from a combination of sounds derived from the 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet. Sanskrit is also known as Devanagari, or language of gods. The ancient sages, who were attuned to higher levels of consciousness, were well aware of the inherent power contained in sound, and they utilized combinations of sounds to set up specific vibrations. These vibrations applied systematically could literally move mountains. In fact, one theory on the building of the pyramid suggests that it was the highly developed science of manipulating sound vibrations that enabled the early Egyptians to sculpt and move stones of such enormous proportions. Mantra act directly on the nadis, nerve tubes, of the astral body. They vibrate in the chakras along the spine, acting as a subtle massage, releasing blockages, allowing the kundalini energy to flow more freely and assert union with and manifest pure consciousness.
A mantra is a combination of sounds, words or phrases that create spiritual, psychic, and physical effects. With mantras, you can experience the power of sound directly. Mantras function by stimulating various chakras, spiritual senses found latent in every person. Each combination of sounds stimulates a different set of chakras and produces a different spiritual effect. Mantras can enable you to see and hear things beyond the physical world, remember dreams and silence the mind. The practice of mantras can change your experience of life, filling each day with spiritual and creative energy. A mantra can make the impossible possible. Followings are some essentials of mantra applications. Set yourself up comfortably, prepare to sit for the duration of the chants, making sure to hydrate and empty your bladder if needed. Cover yourself with something warm and make sure you sit on something comfortable that supports your hips. Sit in easy pose, a seated, cross-legged position that encourages a straight spine and allows one to experience meditative ease and stillness. Gently elongate the back of the neck and slightly tuck the chin in with neck lock to establish a straight line from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Bring the tip of your Jupiter or index finger to the tip of your thumb in Gyan Mudra. This opens the door to the energy of Jupiter, which represents expansion and journeying beyond the known into the unknown. Once you have learned the mantras, closing your eyes will help turn your energies inward. Focus the eyes at the third eye point to further quiet the mind. Chant with the breath. Yogic chanting is a particularly conscious form of breathing, or pranayam. After chanting, we feel uplifted because we literally lift up our energy. Experiencing this, however, means that a lot of factors must line up: the grace of the divine, the grace of the Guru, the mercy of the beloved, and most within our control, the degree to which we apply ourselves to the breath and to our chanting. In order to fully experience the uplifting energy of the mantra, we must fully engage our breath and align with the sacred sounds. Between recitations, we fill our lungs, and that drops us fully into our being. It is through the breath that we live. So to really enjoy the chanting experience, I encourage you to take full, deep breaths as you chant. Then you can truly hear your voice and fall in love with it. When your own voice embodies words of inspiration, words of the divine, it becomes the agent that reveals and transforms you into the beautiful being that you are. Don't worry about the thoughts that arise. Don't worry about thoughts coming up as you chant. It's natural. Chanting cleans and clears our subconscious, and the mantra creates a vortex that pulls out the energy of the subconscious that is no longer useful. It pulls out grief, it pulls out despair, it pulls out anger. Some of this process you will be aware of in your conscious mind, but most you won't actually perceive. The only indication will be a torrent of thoughts, all meant on some level to keep the deep work of clearing the subconscious from happening. Why? Because we get comfortable in habitual energy patterns. Without them, we must do the work to change. Kundalini Yoga has a number of mantras with 8 sounds. These create a rhythm that stimulates and nourishes each chakra. This first mantra vibrates up the entire spine, from the base to the top of the head. Practicing it helps us initiate, experience, and celebrate the divine resonance of Kundalini energy within us. Beeja, seed, mantras, sound of chakras. Beeja mantra is made of the sounds which may or may not have any specific meaning but can activate a specific part of the body and the mind whenever the mantra is chanted. They are consistent in functions and results. They are very powerful mantras and should be chanted with mindfulness. The energy produced by the Beeja mantras should be evenly distributed to every part of the body by chanting Aum before chanting the particular Beeja or the seed mantra. Beeja, seed, mantras of Kundalini chakras. 1 is Lam, Muladhara chakras Beeja mantra. This is the primordial sound of Muladhara chakra, the root chakra of the human body. The conscientious chanting of the sound vibration, Lam, with focus on Muladhara chakra leads to awakening, activation, and ascension of the mysterious force, Kundalini. 2 is Vam, Swadhisthana chakras Beeja mantra. This is the basic sound of the second center, Swadhisthana chakra. The chanting of Vam leads to the production of an abundance of Ojas, which should be converted into Tejas with the practice of Akhand Yoga. 3 is Ram, Manipura chakras Beeja mantra. This is the basic sound of Nabhi and Manipura chakras. The constant chanting of Ram stabilizes the emotional mind. 4 Yam, Anahata chakras Beeja mantra. This is the basic sound of the heart center, Anahata chakra. The constant chanting of Yam strengthens the heart for love of humanity. It strengthens the faculty of concrete mind for better knowledge of the existential world. 5 Ham, Vishuddhi chakras Beeja mantra. Hamsa is the basic sound of the throat center, Visuddhi chakra. The chanting of Ham purifies the emotional mind, concrete mind, and the body. 6 Aum, Agya chakras Beeja mantra. This is the basic sound of the forehead centers, Agya chakra and Vigyan chakra. The unison chanting of Ham and Soham leads to sound vibration, Om. 7 Om silence, Sahasrara chakras Beeja mantra. This is the sound vibration of higher brain centers, Prajna chakra and Sahasrara chakra.